Lower Decks Season 5, Episode 7. Time gears, colored dimensions, and a Soong-type android. And only 3 more to go! Hey, it is Dr. Trek, Larry Nemecek, coming at you here from the heart of Trekland and letting the dust settle just a bit on all the recent Trek news and headlines. So instead of a hot take or a quick take, you get a second opinion from Dr. Trek. Hey, look, I have been authoring, writing, interviewing, editing, collecting, archiving, commentating, witnessing, dot connecting, and yes, fanning Star Trek for a while now. And I just want to say, fully dilated. Are we referring to the mechanics of the dimensional rift that's at the heart of this show and the season, as in time dilation? Or is this a throwback to Worf's lines when he's delivering Keiko's first baby, Molly, back on the Enterprise D? No, but it is. One of the very best Lower Decks fun meta takes on, well, all the feel-goods of an OG Trek planet science dilemma. And we get Brent Spiner back as Data. Saw that coming. Well, purple Data anyway. So kudos this week, yes. First for our writer, Andrew Muth. Now, he was the writer's assistant on season 4, but this is his first credit on a Star Trek. He had been a writer's assistant and then staff writer on parts of both seasons on the animated series Central Park. And then our director this week is Megan Lloyd. Now, you remember that name. She had been storyboard artist on seasons 2 and 3 episodes apiece. And then she directed 3 last season, season 4, including I Have No Bones, Moopsie. And now this is her third of this season after Dos Cerritos, 501, and A Farewell to Farms. All right, big things, little things. And let's start right off with, well, the big thing, the dilation rate, right? Hey, let's just get this straight right out of the gate, okay? Now, the boys on screen tell us that Dilmer 3 is rotating 1 week for every 1 second of real time, well, Cerritos time, right? So that's a differential of 1 to 604,800. So for the team's 10 months on the planet, that only amounts to 43 seconds of Bloody Mary panic time at the transporter console. Meanwhile, and for all you Voyager obsessives, on the weird planet displaced in time, on blink of an eye, which Mariner actually refers to here, right? The rotation, the displacement rate, was actually 1 day for every second. 1.3 seconds to be precise. So, the animated Dilmer 3 is rotating 7 times faster than the live-action forebear, which is a good thing, considering show budgets and all. Big thing, part 2, because on that topic, between the whole pre-warp cultural contamination thing and the time dilation thing and the whole time travel in general thing, there's a lot of shout-outs here, right? I mean, there's blatant mentioning of, well, the inner light. I need a float. Carbon Creek, the stranded time travelers hanging out, even gets a name check, right? And Justice. That's some Edo-level bullshit. And Time's Arrow, the decapitated Data, complete with a purple Mark Twain encounter. I wonder if purple Mark Twains are as conciliatory and diplomatic as prime gray Mark Twains. And for my money, you've also got Sitting on the Edge of Forever vibes here. Even if no one ever mentions stone knives and bearskins. And why not? Tendi turns a crank. It was sitting right there. Little things. Taquito night. Okay, yeah, you knew, in hindsight, it's only there so the guys can show up imbibing machadas on duty. Which, if you don't know, is a Bloody Mary made with beer instead of vodka. And of course, the little Delta swizzle sticks. Very pointy little Delta swizzle sticks. Little thing. Does this mean we get to call it the beer tomato syndrome? You like Pepsi?
All right, who else had a Coke besides me?
I had a Coke. Oh, gee, what the?
How about the wax paper?
I'll tell you what's happening. The Pepsi syndrome.
Too old? Big thing, because again, it's not that Mariner and Tendi et al. Are big Star Trek fans. They're big Starfleet fans. These are their heroes. And as we already know, thanks to Admiral Kirk's introduction to his own motion picture novelization, Starfleet is very much interested, in fact, invested in the dime novels. You know, the dramatized stories of its Starfleet explorers. But this time, the Barconians are just, well, gosh, they look so much like Shrek folk, you know, with the horns. But of course, we know they can't be ogres, right? They're slender and they're orange, not green. Right? Little thing, but a cool thing. Did you see the first beam down to the planet? Dilmer 3 was shot at Vasquez Rocks. We can add another location to the list. Okay, it's not Vasquez Rocks in real life, but it's drawn that way. Although actually, here with animation, it's reversed. What's funny is if you stood on the opposite side of the real rocks, you wouldn't get that image. The tilt wouldn't be backwards. It's nothing like a mirror. The rocks look different and it's all boulders on the ground and there's no full pine trees. Okay, take it off the list. Oh, a big thing. What is the purple dimension? Is there a dimension for every spectrum color? And will we ever go there the rest of the season? I mean, wait, what do we know about it? Look, data is not only still intact, this is years after Nemesis, right? But this one, this data, the purple data, also traveled to 1893 San Francisco and then was dug up as a head by Purple Picard and Purple Guinan and a purple guy in a purple silver suit. And Worf is still a lieutenant. And the Purple D has survived, well, years longer than the Prime or Gray Enterprise D. Oh, little thing. I haven't bugged anybody yet to get an alphanumeric key for this Dilmerian alphabet, but based on our Orion and our Klingon and our Ferengi experience the last couple of years, I'll bet you credits to Navy Beans that this sign is Dilmerian for saloon. Oh, but I have questions. Techie questions this week. Is purple data being sent back in a purple photon tube? And is a Cerritos firing it from a photon tube at the top edge of the saucer rim? Favorite line? Oh, what the hell? There's so many this week. Mariner has, this could be my probe life. I gotta find a flute. Oh, and then to Lynn, I will ignore the inconvenience of the stench to fulfill my duty. Can I have this on a bumper sticker, please? I'll never use a bumper sticker again, but bumper stickers are cool. And then, Snell is still lurking this way. But you gotta give it up to Purple Data. You have also developed a way to power my positronic matrix using a hand crank. That is quite impressive. But finally, stone knives and bearskins. Oh, wait, it wasn't there. But what we do have is this cast and these characters. Starting with in the guest slot, Eric Bauza. Now, you've heard him so many times on Lower Decks. He's been Ferengi, he was a Tellarite bartender, and then he was Barnus Frex, and he was Scott E. and Sewell Oo of the Enterpresians, all over on Prodigy. But here, he is Snell. I loved Snell. It was such a simple trope character, but hey, Snell is just like Snoopy neighbor Agnes Kravitz on Bewitched, you remember? But where was his put upon wife Amber? Instead of Abner. Get it? Only here, of course, it's Lower Decks. And Lower Decks' Agnes Kravitz is totally self-aware and is fully cognizant of his own creeping lurker mode. Meanwhile, back in the crew, shout out to Chief Lundy, long unheard from, I guess, and his unwashed hands on the transporter console. What is Starfleet hygiene protocol anyway on shared control interfaces? I mean, you can beam in through a biofilter, but there's no towelette scan for the touchscreens. Now, did you notice there's so little to do as Ransom or Shax? So just as before this season, Jerry O'Connell here is doubling as a Delmarian villager, and Fred Tashator is that Delmarian bartender. But if you had told me Shax would have an episode where his only line was, "Whoa, but it's taquito night!" But can I say, after a drought all year long till last week, we've got another great scene here for Dr. Ta'ana, voiced by Jillian Vigman, of course. Can we just give it up for her? I mean, that's one powerful handheld antenna hump grower she's got there. I mean, it may have been seconds on the ship, but remember, those horns and guises had to last for over 10 months on the planet. But of course, you can't be perfect. If you notice, just as with a human red, Tendy's tongue is still green even when she's been orangified. But most of all, congrats to Dr. Tana. 5 years in, and she finally gets an honorary McCoy, "I'm a doctor" line.
I'm a doctor, not whatever the this is.
And she got the line that no other Star Trek doctor is ever going to utter. And Rutherford he's going beardless too. Of course, his project is way more even and way more effortless than poor Boimler's, right? But I will say it again. Are we ever going to get the full backstory of his secret cyber eyepiece? Oh, but what an episode for Tendi. I mean, she has been growing, less manic, more settled all season. Maybe it was her weeks on Orion. Until here. I mean, poor Tendi. It's just so icky to see her get all jealous, especially when family and pirating have nothing to do with it. But really, though, her drive, what's eating her, what's motivated, pushing her, it's really all in the name of science and wanting to escape that pirate background. We can cut her some slack, right? She just wants to get away. She's wanted to be a science officer since she was old enough to carry a dagger. But what I really want to say, and this happens off and on through the series, I always think it, I want to say it this week. I just love the way Tendi squawks out her.
What?
It's got this real Lucy Ethel quality to it. It's just slapped. Kudos, Noel Wells. You do more with one word than even Jack Quaid does with a scream. And then, oh my goodness, and after being out of the spotlight since the openers, to Lynn. Now, look, it's not my favorite line, but my home was in the jagged rocks in the Velten Flats, which is priceless. And it's biographical. And we find out she has a sensitivity to animals, just like T'Pol. Yeah, and of course she juggles using math, as of now, and agriculturalizes using science, and creates beauty projects just for local currency. I mean, it's not as simple as selling your antique glasses. And most of all, she hand hauls a heavy wagon of mega fruit all the way into town to sell. Who knew T'Lyn could be such a schloop dog? And now Mariner's got her own special brand of manic going again. She's almost out boilering Boyms. Seems a throwback to her JL savvy self. But until and it's almost lost and it's a throwaway. Her little fangirl moments with Data's head. You gotta wait till the end of the episode, but it's almost like a throwback to the live action on Strange New Worlds and These Old Scientists, don't you think? It was so cute. And again, speaking of these guys' heroes, you gotta give it up for Data. What can you say? It's Brent Spiner. Bringing him back. It was just the best kind of treat to have a visit with Data once again, purple or not. And he's just as you always remember him. He's being instructive, he's being save the day heroic, and unintentionally witty all at once. So there you have it. But this week, right off the bat, boom, it's an interdimensional rift. And it's the third fissure this week. Well, I guess we found the season arc again, huh? Good timing. There's only 3 more to go. But overall, this was such a satisfying, complete, whole little feast of a Cerrito story. I mean, it was such a turn on all those tangents of the old Star Treks that we know, the missions we've watched for years, or even mentioned by the characters right here. I mean, what a total package story. I get it, it's only 23 minutes, remember? And it's such a perfect Trek celebration. It's almost like it's the right kind of dessert for the kind of week with a holiday of eating and blessings. And hey, anytime you can hark back once again and meet me recite pearls of wisdom from Admiral Catherine Janeway, you've done your job and connected an awful lot of Star Trek dots, like this captain's log from Captain Freeman. The Purple Enterprise crossed over here, battling evil clones of Tasha Yar, or something. And it makes me all think again, yes, weird is part of the job. That said, I want to note real quick here, the matte painting landscapes, like the town, like the farm, they're great. They're just like those wonderful planet landscape cultures we got last season. Oh, a special note for Andrew and Mike and the whole team. The Data dialogue writing throughout this whole episode, mwah. I mean, Data is like Spock. He's one of the sacred icons of Trek, right? And we know when the dialogue is off, and we know when it is spot on. I mean, we've come a long way since those Data shampoo bottles went flying, huh? Oh, but one thing, we weren't fooled. No. We knew Snell's mob at the end was going to be all okay. No pitchforks, no torches. But hey, overall, this episode has been a wonderful buffet of the perfect Star Trek story. What is it with the food references? Is Miglimo en route for the next episode? Well, let's see. It is Upper Decks, episode 8. Huh. I wonder if it's simple as finally getting that fearsome, foursome senior officer life-changing drama story that we've been wanting, huh? I don't know. And Billups wondering why he's the first chief engineer in Star Trek history who's always the awkward 5th for bridge. Oh, one more thing. 2 full weeks, and neither one of them wonders where Mariner went? Oh, and one more thing. Did Tendi just ask T'Lyn about her giant melons? Okay. I couldn't resist. It's so Starfleet. I know. I just didn't expect her to go all Ronald B. Moore. Okay. I guess that's as good a place as any to sign off on this second opinion. Well, that's what I thought. What do you think? Come on, here's your chance. Leave a comment below if you would. Like and subscribe. Hey, ring the bell. Boost the signal, why don't you? I dare you to subscribe for some Star Trek sanity. Most of all, look, if you appreciate the Dr. Trek outlook and our Trekland philosophy about everything backstage Trek in and out, I invite you to go over and check out all of our live experiences, like our Portal 47 monthly package, wherever your center seat is. Hey, our Star Trek Trekland Treks location sites tours that you design with my help and get led by. Led by? Yes. And hey, our podcast, The Trek Files, is there every week from Roddenberry. Trekland Tuesdays Live, you could be with me and or a guest every Tuesday afternoon at 1 Pacific, 4 Eastern. And then there's Cadet Alice watches Prodigy with Dr. Trek. Hey, look, it's all there. And our Cameo shop and our TeePublic shop at LarryNemecek.com. And we'll see you back here next week. Trek well, everybody.